Ray is also now going to lead our spotlight presentation, and it's going to be on capital access from his Division of Small Business and Technology Development.
Thank
Ray,
you,
the
Mr.
floor is
Chairman.
yours.
Thank you very much. So this presentation is on our capital access team. Basically, our team mission is to focus on providing access to capital and technical assistance to small businesses in New York State. The team's mission includes developing, managing, and promoting financial programs that support business growth, especially for underserved and disadvantaged businesses. Programs are funded through both state and federal funds. The State Small Business Credit Initiative is a driving force for a lot of what we're doing in this day and age. ESD was awarded $501.2 million, and the Capital Access team manages a cool $282.2 million. So I want to go over some of the programs that we manage for the Capital Access Debt Program. Before I start, I have to note that the SSBCI programs, we partner with Community Development Financial Institutions, CDFIs. They're our trusted partners, and we rely on them to help us get capital into the hands of small businesses who predominantly are socially and economically owned individual businesses. Our Capital Access program, which provides portfolio insurance for participating lenders, designed to increase financial opportunities for New York State small businesses. For all the programs, the data is going to be from January 2024 to September 2024. So for CAP, we supported 114 loans, totaling $1.8 million. And 90% of these loans have been to steady-owned businesses. Keep in mind, or I should say that the average loan size is $22,000. So these are very small micro loans to small businesses who have very difficult time accessing capital. Our contractor financing program provides funding to contractors in need of working capital to deploy and execute federal, state, and local government-related contracts via participating lenders, many of them who are CDFIs. We also have two minority depository institutions, Carver Bank and Ponce Bank, working with us. To date, the contract finance program has supported 78 contracts with a total volume of $17.2 million. Average loan size is $204,000. So we've been working with the MTA, with the various airport projects, and various New York State agencies, getting these funds into the hands of the contractors who are working on those projects. Our bonding guarantee program provides access to bid bonds, payments, and performance bonds for contractors performing on publicly funded projects throughout New York State via participating surety companies. To date, 5 bonds totaling $11.89 million, 95% SETI, $2.4 million is the average bonding size. I'd be remiss if I didn't just highlight that we've done over $100 million in bonding in over 10 years. And it's really been done by one person, that's Wei Min Trang. So I know she's here, so I want to make sure I highlight that she's done a tremendous job, her personally, doing these bonding projects.
Where is she?
Wei Min?
Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Ray, I'm going to interrupt you right
Sure.
here. So, with both the contractor and the bonding, so I assume small companies, again, they don't have the ability or the access to that, and that prevents them from maybe bidding on jobs that, whether it's MTA or others. And so can we do this quickly so they could be responsive to those procurements? Is that sort of the goal here, to level the playing field for these folks and to give them an opportunity to bid on these jobs and projects?
Absolutely. What we're doing also is to facilitate it. We're telling these contractors, you should get pre-approved. You should go to our lenders now, and subject to a contract, you'll get approved. We're working closely with many of the terminals at the airport. We're actually highlighting Terminal 8, which has started our pre-approval process. We're going to get all the contractors working in Terminal 8 to come to our lenders, provide their financials, and we're going to say to you, either you're pre-approved, subject to you having a valid contract. So we're trying to facilitate that. At times, it takes a while for the contractors to gather all the data they need, but I think this way puts them ahead of the curve by coming to us when they're ready, and we'll go ahead and pre-approve them.
That makes sense. Great, thank you.
So we have our New York Forward Loan Fund. Provides flexible low-interest loans for small businesses via an easy online application portal for loans of up to $150,000. To date, we've closed 246 loans, a total volume of $20 million. Average loan is $78,000. Again, I have to take a moment, though, and really highlight and appreciate all the work of the regional offices. Our regional offices have been tremendous partners for us. We go to them. I will have to say that I've called the regional officers, directors, and said to them at the last minute, can you get a room full of people for me to go up there and talk to them? And they do it without hesitation. Their staff has been accommodating to my team. My team, we're making a focus to go to the offices on a regular basis, work with them. Each one of my team members is assigned a regional office. I'm only bringing this up because I got to highlight the tremendous work that they've done to help us do more work in upstate New York. So I just wanted to bring that to
Is there a
everyone's
slide
attention.
on the New York
Oh,
Forward?
I'm sorry. Oh, wow. There you go, New York Forward Loan Fund. And then we got the Small Business Revolving Loan Fund, which provides shorter-term microloans and loans typically under $250,000. CDFIs offer a wide range of products, including short-term loans and lines of credit to startups, subcontracts, and traditional small businesses. To date, 158 loans with a total volume of $40 million has been approved by CDFI. 77% of those have gone to social and economically disadvantaged individuals, and the average loan size is $219,000.
So, and these are all federal dollars that then we,
The small business, yes, and both programs are being funded by the State Small Business Credit Initiative.
all right, so far, we help small businesses either with grants or with bonding
Right.
performance issues and with microloans.
Yes.
And all of those are done with federal dollars administered through,
Everything, yes, basically, yes. Everything's done with the SSBCI capital.
Everything we've mentioned so far.
Right, so far.
There's other programs in the state.
all right, thank you. See, if I don't ask you now, by the time you're done your presentation, I'll forget my question.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. So I want to focus on now what we're doing for 2025. So thanks to the board of directors, thank you. You approved a New York State Guarantee Program, supports participating New York State regional banks, community banks, and credit unions with loan guarantees for loans for up to $500,000. So far, the initial response has been tremendous. We've been inundated with banks calling us saying, how do we sign up? Really focusing on small banks in upstate New York, Solvay Bank, MBT Bank, and really work with them to try to move forward with this initiative. Again, focusing our efforts and trying to make sure that upstate New York has access to this capital. The Airport Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, ACDBE, provides credit enhancements and direct lending capital to participating banks and community development financial institutions to provide loans to DOT-certified ACDBE firms at New York City airports. Again, I have to stop and just say this. Really, I really appreciate it, and I'm honored to be working on this, but this is Hope Knight's initiative. When Hope Knight started at Greater Jamaica, she pushed the Port Authority, pushed the local officials to let them know how important this is. So we have started up a $50 million fund, which is going to change the dynamics in New York City airports. We're going to have more minority and women-owned businesses participating in this lucrative business. The airport concession business is a lucrative business. We want to make sure that we have our fair share of individuals who can participate in the program. Our Main Street Capital Program provides term loans up to $100,000 to startups and early stage businesses, and we're working strictly right now with Pursuit Lending. We've done 17 loans, $72,000 average loan. 75% of that money has gone to businesses north of the Mario Cuomo Bridge. Rob, you're going to love this. We're working upstate. We want to make sure that we focus a lot of our efforts in upstate New York. New York City is doing great. We have a lot of participation in New York City, but we got to focus more on what we're doing upstate New York. Our Small Business Revolving Loan Participation Program, it utilizes SBL, Small Business Revolving Loan Capital. ESD is partnering with Inclusive, a leading network of credit unions, in a first-of-its-kind loan participation program. Never done before in New York State. ESD is providing $5 million SSBCI capital to leverage $14 million in matching funds from participating CDFI credit unions to provide low-interest capitals to make loans to small businesses that cannot secure credit from traditional financing sources. So we are participating for 35% of these loans. We're recruiting the CDFI credit unions throughout the state. And again, the reception for this has been tremendous. People are really excited about it, and we expect to do big things with this one. Some existing programs, the Excelsior Link Deposit Program. Hope mentioned it earlier on. The lowest the cost of borrowing for businesses. Oh, slide. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm sorry, folks. Feel like Bob Barker a little bit, right? So the Excelsior Link Deposit Program lowers the cost of borrowing for businesses by providing an interest rate reduction on term loans through commercial banks statewide. Eligible businesses can receive up to a 2 to 3% interest rate reduction for projects to expand their operations or improve competitiveness. As you can see, 542 applications have been approved. $283.8 million approved deposit, assisting 4 $414 million in projects, creating or retaining an estimated 2,847 jobs. So we can say the Link Deposit program is definitely working. The next one is our JDA Agriculture Loan Fund, provides low-cost financing to agriculture businesses and related industries in New York State, supports rural development and agribusiness expansion to small businesses that cannot access typical sources of capital, providing low-interest loans for equipment, facilities, working capital, and really think of strengthening New York's agriculture sector, driving economic growth in rural areas. So far today, we've done 52 loans, supporting $43.6 million in projects as of 2024. Click. Our Community Development Financial Institution Fund, we're a partnership with the Department of Financial Services to expand access to banking. This program provides grants to CDFIs to support access to safe and affordable banking services in historically underserved and low-income communities. To note, according to data, 5.9% of New York State households do not have bank accounts, right? That's higher than the average of the country of 4.5, and lower than New York City's average is 9.4%. Right? So during that last round of our program, more than 35,000 unbanked individuals received one-on-one technical assistance. The second round of this program is currently underway, and we report at the end of February. To date, we've helped 1,000 New Yorkers open bank accounts to banks throughout the state. So we are making an effort to try to get individuals who use check cashiers to get away from check cashiers and start using banks to do their deposits. So far it's working. We expect bigger and better things. Really happy with this program, very proud as someone who grew up using only check cashiers. So for me, this hits home knowing that we are helping people who are now can get bank accounts and get into the financial system.
Is it, any type of residence, or is it like sole proprietors and small businesses?
These are individuals. So we're really focusing on the
But is it a
individuals.
business? It's just, or their personal bank
Their
accounts?
personal bank accounts, right. What we're trying to do is get them into the Main Street financial system. Right. Many of them are small business owners, but basically we're working with these individually and telling them, you should open a bank account. I can't tell you how many small businesses we found out, sole proprietors who don't have a bank account. And so I'm not sure how they're doing business, but we're changing that dynamic.
Got it.
Our CDFI Assistance Program provides annual grants to CDFIs to support their capacity building, as well as provide access to capital and technical assistance to New York State small businesses. During the most recent program lending, ending May 2024, 20,843 businesses were provided one-on-one technical assistance and financial assistance. Additionally, more than $119 million in loans were dispersed to small businesses. A new grant program will be launched in 2025, so stay tuned, CDFIs to apply. And finally, our SSBCI Technical Assistance Program is a $5 million initiative, and I got to click. Sorry, folks. SSBCI Technical Assistance Program provides funding for eligible technical assistance providers to offer legal, accounting, and financial advisory assistance to eligible small businesses by helping them navigate the access to capital. Right? That's the hardest challenge we have, is getting people through the system. Right? Telling folks you need your financial statements, you need tax returns, this is what you need. This program is going to help these folks navigate through that, and then we're going to put them in direct contact with the CDFI lenders. So we're going to marry them basically with our CDFIs and tell our CDFIs, let's start making more loans than we're doing now. The goal of the program is to support social and economically disadvantaged individual-owned businesses, very small businesses, small and medium-sized manufacturing enterprises, addressing specific barriers with a focus on financial literacy, which is key for us, legal readiness, and access to credit. Having lawyers help them with their documentation is going to be key to the program also. On December 19, 2024, the Board of Directors approved the authorization to work with 8 technical assistance providers through New York State to help accomplish the program's mission. The program will launch in the first quarter of 2025. Again, we've been working with our entrepreneur assistance centers, great partners, New York State Association of Chambers of Commerce, the Independent Banks Association of New York State, small business development centers throughout the state to implement many of the programs I have just highlighted. And these are the folks that do all the hard work. That's the team of the Capital Access. We both have offices in New York City and in Albany. So I'm sitting here, but my team does a tremendous amount of work, diligently working tirelessly to try to get these programs out, answer the call, trying to help New York State businesses one business at a time. Thank you, and thank you much for the presentation.
Ray, I got one last question for you. When it comes to the loans, do we measure the performance of these loans and what's the default rate? And are the folks that we're helping get these loans, are they largely repaying them
Yes.
and being current with them, or do we have issues or problems there?
No, none at all. It's funny how the industry says that city-owned businesses historically are riskier. So we look at our contractor financing program, right? We had a prior one, was called the Bridge Success. We did over $384 million in contracts, $40 million in loans, less than 1% default rate.
Wow.
Right? We have our capital access program that did over $154 million in loans. These are $22,000 loans, $30,000 loans, $50,000 loans, less than 2% default rate. So when they say that city-owned businesses are risky, I would say, show me. Why are you saying that? Is it just something we want to talk about, or do we have statistics to back that? So to answer your question, yes, we have a very low default rate. We do a very good job in making sure that we prepare these folks to get this access to capital.
Right, thank you. Any other board members have any questions for Ray? All right. And then something I shared with Ray last month. I think one of the challenges with all these great programs that come under your division there is getting the word out about getting the word out to small businesses, because you might have saw it. Newsday did a story in late November of all these small, mostly minority businesses on Long Island talking about how hard it is to get access capital with the banks. I'm reading it, I'm like, they don't know Ray Salaberrios. And, how do we help these folks? And so, I think, again, continuing to get the word out, because I think there's still a lot of small businesses that have no idea that they could access capital, grants, bond enhancements, loans. And so I think the more we get the word out, as you said, you work with the regional offices, which is great. I think the regional offices need to be working with all the local chambers as well, to share this information. Because it's good stuff that you're doing. And it's impacting lives and communities, so it's pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right, well done, Ray.